Hello friends, welcome back to my channel, Life After Death of a Spouse. I'm Pam, and I hope you enjoyed the little video that I put together at the beginning of this. I live someplace where we get snow, and sometimes we get a lot of snow. This time, we got off kind of easy. It was only about 3 inches, and it was super fluffy, really light. It's been cold here, and that always means fluffy snow. But as I was getting up this morning and planning on, clearing my driveway, it made me remember those early days after my husband got sick, and the practical things, that I had to do around the house. And then again after he passed. And it brought to mind a phrase that my father-in-law has always used, and that is, you have to have the right tool for the job. Now, my husband passed away in January of 23. He was sick the winter of 22-23. And where I live, it snowed here, oh gosh, twice a week. And it was a lot of snow, and it was wet and heavy. And thankfully, I have a couple of neighbors that were so helpful, such good men. And they made sure our driveway was cleared so that I could get to the hospital, or the ambulance could get in to take Doug to the hospital. And that happened a few times. And at the end of that season, we had a huge snowstorm on April 16th that dropped about 6 inches on us. I told them I'd learn how to take care of myself. I thanked them for the whole season of watching after us, and then me, but I wanted to take care of myself. And I couldn't use the tools Doug had. Doug was 6'2" and 250 pounds before he got sick. I'm 5'0" on a good day. And it wouldn't have worked. His snowblower, I think, had like 5 speeds, and it could pull me around the driveway, which I didn't need the neighbors seeing that. That would just be gross, right? So I got rid of it on Facebook Marketplace, and I recommend that for any of you who do need to get rid of things or need to buy things. I've gotten a lot of stuff on there, very reasonable in price. And if you're not out of line and you make a reasonable offer, sometimes you can get it for less. So his big snowblower went away, and I used those funds to buy something I could handle. And I wanted a battery operated snowblower. I didn't want to mess with gas and carburetors and all that stuff. And so I did some of my research. I did a lot of I watched a lot of YouTube videos, actually, of people who were reviewing the snowblower I was looking at. They showed how to use it. So that tool helped me through the next winter. I didn't have to use it very much, but it was there. And then shovels. There's the big one that Doug used and that I can use, and the little one, which today, because the snow was so light and fluffy, I could use the big one and get done faster, and it didn't hurt me. It doesn't, you got to remember to lift with your knees so that you don't hurt yourself when you're doing stuff like this. But I use the little one when I need to clear smaller spaces, the sidewalk, the deck in the back, because I live in a house, obviously, and I've got stuff to take care of. These are the practical things that we have to take care of. If you're somebody who has the means to hire people to do things for you, great. Then you're done. And that just makes life a lot easier for you and not so overwhelming, because these things are overwhelming. I remember in those first 3 months having to change the windshield wipers on my car. I'd never done that. You know, it's those kinds of things. And I used a YouTube video to teach me how. But life is so overwhelming. That first year when you're just in survivor mode, but the things don't stop having to be done. You know, the going to work, the taking care of the snow, taking care of the lawn. But by having to do those things, for me anyway, and I can only speak for me, but because I had to do those things, it helped me. It helped me, it helped my confidence. Maybe that was the underlying thing. And every time I successfully managed to do something that was frightening, I mean, it's frightening to think that all of a sudden I have to do this stuff I'd never done before. But every time I finished a chore that I had never done before, it gave me hope. And it made me confident. It made me more confident that I would be able to handle these things. Doug didn't want me to stay in the house. He wanted me to be in something smaller, but this is home. And you know, they tell you not to make any of those big decisions in that first year. But I want to stay. I like my house. It's not a huge house. It's not a small house, but I have animals. I've got dogs, and my yard is fenced in. And in this economy, I've been in my house for about 24 years. I'm not going to get anything even comparable to what I have now without spending, you know, gross amount of money. And I'm happy here. And while I can handle it, I'm going to. It's one of those decisions that in my last video, we talked about the fact we have decisions to make. And that was an easy decision for me to make, you know, last year. Who knows where I'll be or what I'll be doing a year from now. But right now, this is home and I'm happy here. And I'm more confident about handling it and all of the things that come along with it. Now, are there things that I have to hire out? Yeah, there are. I was lucky for the 40 years that my husband and I were together that he could do pretty much anything. He grew up in a time where his dad handled all the stuff in the house. They'd bought a home and remodeled, you know, gutted it basically and remodeled it. So my husband learned how to do that stuff with his dad. Electricity, you know, all the electrical stuff, plumbing, you know, just a few months after he passed, I had to replace the hot water heater. And it cost a small fortune, but it made me realize how much money he saved us over the years because he could do all that stuff. That was that security that came along with being married to somebody who could do things. And I learned a lot from him. I did. And I had a few months with him after he was diagnosed with the cancer, between that and passing, that he taught me more things. But, you know, that's that, what's the word I'm looking for? That panic when you're suddenly alone about how are you going to handle things. And that just can put you right into that nosedive of everything's bad. But when you can do something for yourself, at least this was my experience with it, it did bring me hope that I could get through it. And it brought me confidence that I could take the next steps. And I think that was really, really important on, in the beginning days of me healing, was believing I could do it. Well, they were just some thoughts when I realized I'd be shoveling today, that I wanted to get out there. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for staying. I appreciate it. Have a good day, or have a better day. Take care, and I will see you soon.